Hi everyone, in today's video I've got a few luxury eyeshadow looks to show you, and half of them are guilt-free, so please watch on. The new Chanel range passed me by, and actually it was sheer chance that I saw it on counter and had a look, so let me show it to you first of all. So this is what my impulse buy looks like. Comes in the lovely box for Les Beiges. And here it is. The Les Beiges, it's always this packaging. Well, my previous ones have been like this. These are part of the permanent collection. So they come with the two applicators, which have just dropped out, that I always say I'm not going to use, but actually I have used them in a pinch. And here are the colours. Now, I don't know whether the camera's picking up the shimmers. Let me show you what particularly attracted me to these. Look at those. Look at those colours. Look at that shimmer. Oh, so nice. So let me just swatch these for you so you can have a look. So here are the swatches, and actually they swatch really well. This formula is different to the quad formula of Chanel. I can be attracted to the colours and then be disappointed with how they apply, but these are more pigmented in their beige, so that's why I was a bit more confident. But I did definitely look on counter and actually swatch them just to be sure that I wasn't going to make a mistake, because it's an expensive mistake otherwise. It really was the very goldy orangey colour that I think is unusual, and I don't think I have much like that in my collection. And this shimmer here that just seemed nice. And I know this formula is super blendable, so again, for me it was worth it. But let's put them on my eyes and let's have a look. So I'm just going to put some of this in the crease, and then I want to use the goldy orangey shade and see whether we can get away with using that as a, well, it's not exactly a one and done, but a two and done. Let's see, because actually on holiday, somewhere hot, that would look very nice. But let's see. Well, hopefully it looks nice. Let's see. Now the problem is I can't stick my fingers very easily in these because they're very narrow. And also, I don't know whether you can see, there's basically a rim as well. So you can't really get in there if you've got slightly long nails. I've got very small hands, and so that's why I keep my nails longer. But let's see. But they just, this formula blends like a dream. I just wish they could use it in the quads, because I'd be more faithful then. Oh, there we go. Look at that. This does not feel like a quad Chanel experience, because it's not a quad Chanel experience. It's a Chanel experience, but not a quad experience. It's the quint, so it's just lovely. Oh, that's exciting. That's what that looks like. Let's just put a bit more, because more is more in my book. Now there are also blushes with highlighters that I can't get that excited about them, I'm afraid. I mean, I know the formula's lovely, but my cup runneth over with blushes and highlighters. Okay, and let's put a little bit of the same darker colour underneath. So we've done a two and done. I will put some mascara on so you can see the whole thing. Now what I could do is I could put a little bit of this highlighter here, very gently, just below my eyebrows, so you can at least, oh, look at that shimmer. Woof. Can you see? That's really shimmery. That's very much the sunshine dancing on the sea, isn't it? Very nice. So now I'm going to use these two shades here along with the darker shade again on the other eye. And let's see what we get out of that. So I'm going to use the same dark colour just on the crease. And also, I'd just like to say, I have got, as you can see, I've got deep set eyes, and the skin around my eyes is quite dark, and things don't seem to adhere that well, and that's why I wear the liquid eyeshadow. But these definitely show up. I'm not working really hard. They're just so nice and pigmented, without being, in a way, without being off message for Chanel. And now I'm going to use this pinky sort of, it's not quite a nude tone, but it's, yeah, look, I'm just putting quite a bit on there for you to have a look. Let's see if that applies. It does show up. It's not that it doesn't show up, but it's definitely that. If you do this version of the palette, that's very nice, like everyday, sophisticated look. The last thing I am is sophisticated, so I'm always amused with myself when I imagine that something's going to render me sophisticated, but I'm sure you're sophisticated and it will make you look even more sophisticated. That's what I would say. And then let's put a little bit of that light shade, this one here. Got shimmer in it. Yeah, there is a bit of shimmer in this. Hang on, look. So this is just a Morphe brush, so it's not like I'm doing anything special. It's that one there. There is a bit of shimmer to it, a little bit. It's not matte. There we go. We could reverse it actually. Let's put that, a little bit of that underneath the brow bone. And then we can put a bit more of this, the gold highlighty shade in the crease. So that way you'll see what the gold highlighty shade, not in the crease, sorry, in the inner corner, looks like on the inner corner, as well as under the brow bone. Is that showing up? Yes, it is. There you go. So let's put a little bit underneath of the darker shade again, just to tie it all together. There has been some fallout, although I don't think I've been very good at tapping off, so not wanting to defend Chanel, but just I think that's probably more, you know, user error. I thought I was recording, but my camera basically gave up the ghost. So I've come back and I've put mascara on, and just so you know, when I thought I was filming, I put more of this underneath this eye. So both eyes have got this shade underneath, and only on this eye, you can see I've put some Rock and Coal Barbarella Brown eye pencil just to see what it gave, if I gave it a bit more definition with this lovely goldy orangey colour. Now there are 4 lip shades as part of this range, and the one that I was most excited by is this one, which is called Sun Kiss. It looks like this. I mean, look at that. It's corally, there is a bit of pink in it as well, which is why I liked it. Look at this. It's a warm corally shade. Really lovely. And it's in actually my favourite formula, which is the Rouge Coco Flash. So let's put some on. It's just the gloss of the Rouge Coco Flash that I find compelling. Plus they're longer lasting, they're fantastic. These are £40, $50. I really like this. What do you think? I mean, in a way, it goes better with these eyeshadows than those. So here's what they look like. So these are the more muted shades with only a little bit of the shimmer on the inner corner. And then over here, we've got the goldy orangey shade that looks probably maybe a bit scary in the actual packaging, but I just don't think it is. Maybe I don't scare easily. I do scare easily. Don't believe that. I really do scare easily, but maybe the eyeshadows are so compelling that I overcome my fear. Feel the fear and do it anyway, as the book said. So that is the new Chanel, well, 2 of the new Chanel Les Beiges. The others, as I said, I wasn't as interested in, but I would love to hear from you, because it may well be that you are a Chanel aficionado, which I'm not. I'm a bit more promiscuous. I tend to take what I want from it and then that's it. I'm not sort of a huge fan, but I do like this eyeshadow formula. And I would say to you that if, like me, you're not really a fan of the Chanel quads and you've never tried this formula, it's definitely worth a look. And there are others to choose from. It's just that this is, I think I'm right in saying that this is the latest, because as I said, I was slightly surprised to see it on camera, on counter in Selfridges, when I actually wasn't. I was passing by. I wasn't really looking for makeup. However, I would say give this, if not this particular shade range, but certainly the formula. It is very different to the quads. It really is much more pigmented, easily blendable. I think, honestly, dare I say it, less dusty. But again, it's horses for courses, and I don't want to yuck your yum if you love those quads, because they're very popular, and they're popular for a reason. They just don't have to be popular with everybody. This lipstick, as I said, Rouge Coco Flash, I'm just a fan of the formula, full stop. But I do like this colour. As I said, I think it probably suits maybe this side more than the other, but maybe in daylight it's slightly different. So that is Chanel. Now on to something else. So next up, bit of a contrast, I wanted to show you these new Beauty Pie Wonder Colour eyeshadow sticks. These are the 3 new colours. Now let me show them to you. They are here. So this is Faded Pink, this is Tea Rose, and this is Smoky Garnet. There is a bit of shimmer in these. Now these are very long wearing and they are absolutely wonderful. I've used these over the years and I have to say I have never been disappointed. Now I'm not saying they're dupes, but there's sort of lots of discussion and there has been lots of discussion over the years. Are they made just like the Laura Mercier caviar sticks? Are they like the Bobbi Brown sticks? I'm not saying they're dupes. All I'm saying is they're £12 each, and the two aforementioned brands charge £29 or close to £30 for them, for those sticks. These are astounding value and the quality is absolutely there. Now, as I said, they're £12. You do have to pay the membership fee of about £59, I think it is, for the year. However, if you're anything like me, it means you can buy your entire family's shampoos and shower gels and all sorts of face creams and SPFs and so on. So it's for me, I can really make that membership work and I feel I get the value out of it. I don't always buy makeup at all from Beauty Pie, but these shadow sticks I do buy on and off. I mean, not all the time, but on and off I do buy. And as I said, look at these colours. Really lovely, wearable, cool tones. So let me show you how they apply on my eyes. So you can see here I'm applying the tea rose just on the lid and just basically blending that out with my Refa 14, which is just a small fluffy brush, not a really big one. And just giving that a good old blend and then putting some Smoky Garnet in the crease, and again giving that a good blend simply because you don't have a lot of playtime with these, so you've just got to be quick. These are definitely not eyeshadow sticks that you can apply on both lids and then go back and blend the first lid. You want to do one eye at a time. So I blend in the Smoky Garnet in the crease and then put a little bit more on the lower eyelid, and then I'm pretty much done. I mean, I have to say these are shimmery tones. The shades that I've gone for in the past have been shades like, I mean, these are the names, they're Teddy Bear, which it's like a very cool toned browny taupe. And I've also gone for something called Aunt Taupe, which is a slightly warmer browny taupe as well. So these are matte colours that are good everyday colours. So here I'm putting faded pink in the inner corner. It's very shimmery and lovely. And on the second half of the eyelid, I'm putting some tea rose on the lid and just blending those together with my Refa Shodo 02, which is also fluffy but also has a point so I can get into the crease a little bit as well. And I'm applying some Smoky Garnet on the outer corner of the lid and giving that a good blend. I'm putting some tea rose on the lower lid as well, just as a contrast to the other eye which had Smoky Garnet on the lower lid, just so you can see that I can still get a bit of shade, a bit of definition, but it's just not as dark. And actually these just blend like a dream. I don't always go for the shimmers in these Beauty Pie shadow sticks. More often than not, to be honest, I'm attracted to the matte shades simply because they're the easiest in a way to do a one and done. So these really are very, very versatile. So here are the two finished looks. I've just put some mascara on, that's all I've done. I've put no other eyeliner on or anything at all. They're both similar, it's just one's probably more intense. So this one is a little bit more smoky just because I used more of the Smoky Garnet in the crease and on the lower lid. And then this one's got a slightly more daytime feel to it, I think, for me, although I suppose it depends on the look that you want, in that I've got the faded pink in the corner, so that just brings a lot more light to the eye. But I have used all three shades on this one. I've used the faded pink and the tea rose on the lid, and then again the garnet, the Smoky Garnet in the corner. On my lower lid, remember, I used the tea rose, so it is just a slightly lighter look. But the joy with these is that you can use them as one and dones. And actually, if I'm honest, that's pretty much what I think of when I use these eyeshadow crayons. The same as if I buy the Laura Mercier or the Bobbi Brown. For me, the pleasure is just being able to put them on the lid, smudge them a bit with my finger, and if I really do feel adventurous, in this case, I'd use the smoky garnet a bit in the crease, but more often than not, I know I haven't done that. I've just sometimes used a brush just to blend it into the crease and then mascara, and then I'm done. So that for me is the pleasure. They're only £12, which is amazing value, and they do last a really long time, and they're fantastic quality. They blend really well, they're water resistant, they're really, really super smooth, and my goodness, they last. Now, I have had these colours on the back of my hand probably for half an hour, maybe a bit longer. So let's see how they last. I mean, I know what's going to happen because I've used these before, and they really only come off when you use your eye makeup remover. But let's see what happens. Give it a good old, yeah, I mean, look, that's my hand. I don't think anything's come off on it. They haven't smudged. I mean, you've got a bit of playtime. 20 seconds, 30 seconds, maybe a bit more. Because I mean, I came a cropper here because actually I wasn't quick enough, and I've got a bit more of a harsher line than I would like because I wasn't quick enough. So, but once they're on, they really are on, which is fantastic, particularly if you're in a humid environment, if you're on holiday, or if you're running around and either in the rain or as I said, humidity or anything like that. Just fantastic. Great value, great fun. So I suppose the reason why I thought it was worth putting both the Chanel and the Beauty Pie together, it wasn't just as oh look, you can pay £59 or you can pay £12. They're not the same. It's not the same product at all. What I'm saying is it could be another way of looking at it, in that they're both new ranges, they're both new products. You could have a bit of sort of a fresher look, a bit of fun, a bit of seasonal fun, and it doesn't have to break the bank. Even if you're on a low buy, £12 is more affordable. And as I said, because the sticks are one and dones, you really only need one to have some fun with, if need be. In terms of the Chanel, of course it's a different beast. I think this is a rather lovely palette, actually. And as I said, I'm not somebody who goes bonkers over Chanel. I find them a bit frustrating at times. I find the quantities a bit mean. Sometimes I moan about the pigment. But actually the amount of pigment in these, in the Les Beiges range, I've not been disappointed. I've got a mauvey one that was it last year? I think it was last year, which I really enjoyed. Although I have to say, they haven't really lasted because you don't get that much product in these. That's even though these are permanent collection, and I'm pretty sure, as I said, that's what the lady said in Selfridges, that these are not limited edition. It's not like a long-lasting Natasha Denona that you can pull out and forget about in the drawer, and then you find it again and there's more in there and you never run out, or it takes a lot to actually hit pan. These are not like that, but it's a more sophisticated look in that you can just do a wash of colour and they do blend really well. So I do think as a range, for me, these are easier to recommend than the quads are because of the level of the pigment. And I've not been disappointed with these, which is why I was tempted. And just to remind you, this shade here, which is this really lovely shimmer, you can use it as a topper as well. I mean, look at that. That's a lovely shimmer. It's different, of course, to the Beauty Pie. It's different. It's a different, you know, the eyeshadow sticks are different, but you could still have your shimmer if you wanted to, as a fresh shimmer. It's just that the Beauty Pie, the new ones, they are cool shades as opposed to pretty warm, these ones. Although I didn't find them, once they were on my lids, I wasn't blown away by the warmth. I thought it was just a gentle warmth rather than a in-your-face warmth. Apart from possibly this orange, which may well be a bit more contentious. It may be a bit more love it or loathe it. For me, I love it. Why not? If you're going to go for it, go for the pigment and a bit of pizzazz. So let me know, what have you used from Beauty Pie? What am I missing? What am I missing? I must be missing something. Let me know. And in terms of the Chanel, have you already gone for these? Because as I said, it took a bit of time for these to come to the UK, and I may well be a little bit later than I should have done, because I'm sure I didn't spot them in Selfridges, but who knows? Maybe I was preoccupied or on my phone or whatever. So do let me know, and thank you so much as ever for joining me. I really, really appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.